There's something called the red sneaker effect, which is data and research that shows that, when you stand out, and this gets back to weird, when you stand out, like if you have the audacity to wear red sneakers to, some black tie event, that you are you're like perceived to have more power and more influence and more authority, and that you're breaking the unwritten rules, right? Like black shoes are probably the go-to for the tuxedo, but when you're wearing the red sneakers, it really makes a statement. Of course, again, you're probably not going to wear, and I'm not going to wear red sneakers to a black tie event. That's not my flavor of weird, but here is my flavor of weird and how I see unwritten rules as, traps and nothing more. When I was applying for my role at Google, I was 26, totally new, just come back from living abroad after doing research at Harvard Business School, had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, but got really, really excited at the idea of working for Google. I applied online to this random job I knew nothing about, and I heard nothing. And I heard nothing for another day and another day and another day, and then a week and then longer. And I was like, well, let me just go see if everything was okay with my application. And I realized to my horror, that the formatting looked like it had been uploaded in kind of a funky way on my resume when I had to upload the document. And I don't know, maybe this was so many years ago, almost 20 years ago. But I was like, okay, I know there is nowhere in the Google application manual how to apply to Google manual that says you hop in your car and you drive up to the Google office and you sit in the office until someone comes out and takes your printed out resume that is now nicely formatted. And I said, that's an unspoken rule, and I'm going to break that unspoken rule. And so I got in my mom's 10-year-old Honda stick shift, and I was living with my parents at the time, and I drove to the Google office and I sat there until someone came out and spoke to me, despite the fact that the receptionist in this shared office space kept trying to turn me away. And I just was professionally persistent and with a smile said, it's important that I speak to somebody at Google because there was a problem with my application. And as the smile muscles quivered and my knees started to shake, I just held firm and stood there like an unwavering tree rooted to the ground until someone came out. And then eventually someone named Elizabeth came out and I handed her my resume and casually mentioned the work I had been doing at Harvard Business School and studying abroad, which felt like a very googly thing to talk about, international experience. And then after that, the recruiter called and I shortly had a whole bunch of interviews and then a job offer. So I think it's the unspoken rules, the unwritten rules that really can get us caught up